Call today, we'll get a free tax consultation worth $500. Stop worrying about your IRS problem. We can help you, we promise. Call the tax doctor right now. I mean right now to learn more.
800-240-4587. 800-240-4587. 800-240-4587. That's 800-240-4587.
Why have thousands of aspiring authors teamed up with Christian Faith Publishing to publish their book? Because Christian Faith Publishing is an author-friendly publisher who understands that your labor is more than just a book. We provide authors freedom and flexibility throughout the publishing process, professional book editing, award-winning design, and some of the highest royalty structures in the publishing industry. And as always, you will retain 100% of the rights to your book.
I was looking to find a company that I could trust, one that assisted in the editing process.
Hi.
The most important qualities that I was looking for was a publisher who was honest and upfront, no hidden costs or fees, and owning the rights to my own work.
Christian Faith Publishing will publish, market, and sell your books in all major bookstores, online booksellers, as well as specialty Christian bookstores. Call for your free author submission kit.
800-978-4812. 800-978-4812. 800-978-4812. That's 800-978-4812.
Here's important new information from the Diabetes Solution Center for you, a family member, or a loved one suffering with diabetes. If you have lost your provider, or if you need a provider for diabetic supplies, you may qualify to receive your diabetic testing supplies now with little or no out-of-pocket cost, regardless of your age. All you need is Medicare or private insurance to be potentially eligible. Call the Diabetes Solution Center right now for details. Just takes a couple of minutes. Our friendly, knowledgeable agents will give you free, no-obligation information, handle all the insurance paperwork, and make sure your supplies are delivered directly to your door for free.
Call U.S. Medical Supply 24 hours a day. 800-597-9323. 800-597-9323. 800-597-9323. Call right now. 800-597-9323.
Attention all business owners and creative minds. Do you need a unique and personalized touch for your products? Look no further than Romika Laser Engraving and Custom Designs. I'm Ron Phillips, co-owner of Romika Designs. We offer custom laser engraving services for a variety of products, including promotional items and corporate or personal gifts. With state-of-the-art equipment and a team of skilled designers, we can engrave intricate designs on virtually any material. Whether it's a special message, a company logo, or a custom design, Romika Laser Engraving will help you make your mark. And the best part, our prices are affordable and our turnaround time is quick.
I couldn't be happier with the work Romika Laser Engraving did for me. The engraving on my product was precise and exactly what I wanted.
So don't wait any longer to add a personal touch to your products. Call Romika Laser Engraving and Custom Designs today at 817-400-4040 or visit our website at romikadesigns.com. We look forward to helping you make your mark.
Hey, travelers, do you want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call. That's right, call, because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at ridiculously low prices. Our prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find ridiculously low prices for you. Call SmartFares today and get the best price on your next flight. Guaranteed.
Hey, everybody.
Hi.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Okay, so welcome back to Crime Time with Brittany and Renee. As you can see, Brittany's not with us today. She had a little...
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Okay, can you see us now?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So Brittany is not going to be with us today. She is out, but she will be back with us next week. She had a little thing at work she had to take care of. So today we are going to talk about the Renee Freer case. We did an episode on this a couple of weeks ago, and we talked about her case. Renee Freer was 8 years old when she was brutally murdered in 1977. She was found in the woods behind her home, and we're going to talk to a guest who lives in that neighborhood. And I want to show everybody the woods here real quick so everybody can be familiar with what it looks like in the area behind the house where Renee lived and where she was found. So look at this, y'all. This is the woods. They're very thick. And this was in the evening hours, so it was probably not quite as light. But as you can see, the woods are very thick. They're very dense, and I can only imagine what it was like living there and being out there. As a kid, you would probably love it, but I can only imagine what it was like trying to find a child back there in those woods. So, thank you for recording that for us, Elena.
You're welcome.
I wanted to say again, welcome back to Crime Time. To the show. This is the show that refuses to let the unsolved be forgotten. Today, we're going to talk about the 1977 murder of Renee Freer, a case that has lingered in the shadows for nearly 5 decades. The crime shook a quiet neighborhood, left a family shattered, and has remained unsolved ever since. Our guest today wasn't even born when Renee was killed, but she's lived across the street from where it happened for many years. She's heard every whisper, she's followed every rumor, and spent years researching the case, not just out of curiosity, but out of conviction. She's become a passionate advocate for keeping Renee's story alive, making sure it doesn't fade into silence. Please welcome Elena, a woman who may not have known Renee, but who has made it her mission to make sure we don't forget her. Thank you so much for joining us, Elena.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. We appreciate it. So again, we're talking about the Renee Freer case. This happened back in 1977.
Yep.
For anyone who didn't listen to our other episode or weren't able to watch it, this was in June 22nd of 1977 in Monroe, Connecticut. And Renee went missing, and people started searching for her after a little while of her being missing. Her mother realized that, she had been gone too long and started getting people involved in helping. Then, of course, at that point, it became a thing where, we got to call the police because this is not just her, playing, and I just don't know where she is. So they contacted the police. They ensued a search. And after a couple of hours, she was found, unfortunately, brutally murdered. So this is a very sad case, and it's very sad that it's been 48 years almost that she's been gone, and this is unsolved. So we wanted to have you on so you could answer some questions for us because you live right there where it happened. So tell me about how long have you lived on this road? And it was Williams Road, right?
It was Williams Drive, wasn't it?
Okay.
They switched. Sometimes the post office made a mistake one year and they just kept it as the mistake. So
Okay.
I don't remember what it was back then.
Yeah. Oh, that's okay. Okay. So you live across the street, correct?
Right.
Okay. So how long have you lived there?
My whole life, since 1990.
Oh, wow. Okay. So you've
Yeah.
lived there a very long time. And so you've had lots of time to hear the stories.
Oh, yeah.
So tell me about the first time you heard the story of Renee Freer.
It was actually, I want to say I was around 10.
Okay.
And it was actually from my sister. She was trying to scare me.
Oh,
I don't think she realized what actually happened. She is 4 years older than me, so I think she
okay.
was just trying to be like a big tough sister.
Yeah.
And she told me that a little girl got unalived. I'm so used to saying unalive, so
That's okay on
sorry.
social media. I get it. No, I get it. It's fine.
It was Williams Drive back then.
Okay.
Okay. And she told me about it, and I'm like, what? And I didn't think anything of it. Like, no one's ever said anything.
Yeah.
And I asked her, I was like, what are you talking about? She's like, but don't tell anyone. It's a secret. I'm like, what are you talking about? And obviously, I was young, so I was scared. So I went home, asked my parents, and I was young, so they didn't really say much of it. But I heard so many rumors from then still to this day.
Wow.
About how sometimes people would say it's a random person. Other times people would just say that she tripped and fell and nobody did anything. But now that I'm older and I'm doing my own research, I'm like, this wasn't a tripping.
Yeah.
This wasn't a random person. Absolutely not.
Right. And what
So,
the story you
yeah.
told, was it similar to what you hear today, or was it totally different?
For my sister, totally different.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Totally different. Like,
Yeah.
she was talking because we have a cul-de-sac at the end of the road, but that
Uh-huh.
wasn't even here
Okay.
when the whole thing with Renee happened.
Okay.
She told me it happened all the way down there and someone tripped over her boot in the winter.
Oh, goodness.
So
That is
maybe that's
totally
the
different.
story she heard.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know.
Well, that's kinda like the game of telephone, when you tell one person and then I've worked at jobs where they did that, I guess, because they wanted to emphasize how things change and how the
Right.
story changes, and then we'd start at the beginning and then go to the end, and there was probably, like, 15 of us. By the time it got to the end, the story was completely different, so
Oh, yeah.
and I can imagine after all those years how many,
Oh my gosh.
so, wow. So, and how has the neighborhood changed from what you've read and heard about it, what it was like back then?
Back then, I heard that everybody would be outside from morning till night doing whatever, not whatever they want to do, like no one cared, but just like kids being kids, playing
Right.
outside, playing in each other's backyards. And when I grew up, it was somewhat like that, but my parents were also more like, I was asking my mom earlier, I'm like, when did I start going out by myself? She's like, not to like middle school.
It was
And
different.
obviously you're
Yeah.
older than 8 in middle school.
Yes.
Um, I never had sleepovers at anybody's houses.
Oh, wow. So your mom
Um,
was really cautious.
yeah, yes and no, because I asked her, I'm like, how were you okay with moving into a house where this
It's
happened not too long? And she's like, well, we were all under the assumption that the person moved away and nothing happened.
Oh,
And
okay.
nothing happened after that. I'm like, weren't you worried? She's
Yeah.
like, no, nobody really talked about it. I'm like, how does nobody talk about that?
Yeah, that's sad because it's right there where it happened.
Exactly.
Wow.
And it still shocks me that, like, even, like, yes, it was 1990, but my parents moved in 83
Right.
and nobody said anything about it.
Wow. Okay, that's interesting. I know that if you move into a house that like you're buying a home and if a murder happened in that home, and I don't know what the law is in Connecticut, but I know that in Texas they have to disclose that, a murder happened here or whatever, but I don't know about on the property. I don't know. I don't think the same rules apply. I don't know.
Right. I think it's only if it happens in the house.
Right. I think you're right. Yeah, that's the way it is here in Texas too. So,
Right.
wow. Okay. So tell me, how did you become involved in this? Because I mean, again, what's interesting about this case is that my daughter's the one that found this case, and I am 1 year younger than Renee would have been if she were alive today.
Oh, wow.
We were literally like 1 year and maybe like a month apart. So
Oh,
we were
wow.
pretty much be the same age.
Right.
So I try, of course, I think of Renee Freer as 8 because, that's how old she was when she was killed, but
Yeah.
she would have been my age. So, I would have been in the same shoes as her. I would have been running around playing in the backyard.
Yeah.
Me and my cousins used to do the same thing. We'd play in the backyard for hours, and then you get hollered, "Hey, come in, it's time for dinner," or whatever.
Yep.
So I get that. But, things do change as time goes on, and people realize that things like that happen, that, innocence, you
We
think that.
were like, in the summer, we were allowed to play outside at night, but only if there was an adult.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like,
that makes
we were
sense.
never allowed to be alone.
Right. Wow.
I thought it was just because she was being protective, but maybe now that I'm older and realize what actually happened, it was probably because of what happened.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's kind of a stigma because 'cause you're always kinda looking at the house going, "Wow, that's where she was killed. That's, horrible," and you're always thinking about it. I can only imagine what goes through people's minds. It's just kind of a constant thing, and
Oh, yeah.
it is the way it is, so,
Yeah.
wow. So, tell me how you became involved in this case.
I look at the house every day. I
Yeah.
don't mean to laugh, but,
No,
like,
I know what you're saying.
I'm not from back then.
Uh-huh.
And I'm not trying to make it sound like you guys are dinosaurs.
Thank you.
I'm just younger, so they're like,
Yeah.
some people are like, "Wait, why do you even know about this?" I'm like, "I live right next door."
Yeah, that's gonna be hard for you to not think about all the time because you see the
Right.
house, you live there, you see the woods. I mean, I get it. I mean,
And
so
the
what did
fact
you
that she was 8, like,
Yeah,
even if it was across town, it's still the fact that she's 8.
right. Yeah, and that's a small
She
town, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was probably a lot smaller back then.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Um, yeah, I can imagine that would be something that would drive me nuts. I know it would because obviously I'm into true crime, because of the mystery and and the searching and trying to figure it out, but
And
also
nobody got caught.
because yeah, and also because, some of these things start to, you know, fade. People quit talking about it because it's like they don't know what to do,
And
but
I
up
think that's what did happen,
Mhm, yeah,
because something happened in the beginning and nobody talked about it for years. I heard about it way when I was younger, and then I stopped hearing about it for years. I would always ask my mom about it.
mhm,
She would always tell me the same thing. "Oh, the person moved away."
yeah,
Um, and that was it. Like, that
yeah.
was all she could say because there was nothing that was talked about. And then it just popped up on Facebook one day, the Facebook page, and I was like, "Wait, is that the same girl?"
Yeah.
And then I started getting, like, really into it again. I'm like, "Oh my god, I can finally do something."
Yeah, you could actually get involved in it. I heard you say a couple times the person moved away. Sounds like a lot of people in the neighborhood knew who did it.
There are very strong opinions,
Okay.
and ironically, a little bit after the unaliving, certain families moved quick, one more quickly than the others.
Yeah.
Um, so it's always very possible it was that family.
Yeah.
Um, that's always what I was told. The family moved out right after. The family left.
Did your mom tell you, and I'm not asking you who, but did your mom tell you who did it and you figured it out, or did you just figure it out because you were like, okay, well, these were the people that moved? Was it something?
I figured it out. Me and a few other people figured it out.
Yeah.
Literally everything is online.
Yeah.
If you just know what you're looking for and how to look for it and who to talk to.
That's crazy. It's really crazy, and I have to tell everybody this little backstory here. So 2 weeks ago, well, actually 3 weeks ago, me and my daughter were here and we were doing a case, and I'm usually picking the cases because it's something that I do, I'm just used to it. So I told her, I said, "Why don't you pick the next case?" Well, in her wonderful way, she waited until Monday to give me this case, and I thought, "Oh goodness, I've got a whole day to get ready for Tuesday," but I did it. I got into it and researched it and everything, and we covered the case. And the next day, I got a message from one of Renee's relatives, and I meant, "Man, I wish I would have got this, before," but it's okay. Anyway, within the 2 weeks from the day that we did that episode, I've joined a Facebook group. I've ordered a book. I've had many conversations with many
You
people
mean this
from
book?
That's the one.
Yep.
I've had many conversations with people from Monroe, Connecticut. I feel like I have a little friendship with several of y'all, and all of them are super sweet and kind, and they all care so much about the case. But it's just been a whirlwind in just 2 weeks. It feels like it's been much longer, but it's been great, to connect with people and learn about this case. I mean, I wish it wasn't so far away and I could just get in my car and drive on over, and you know what I mean? It would be great, but it is a
Right.
long, I think it's like 1,400 miles. But, nevertheless,
That's far.
yeah, it is. We've even started another Facebook group, and so there's 2 now. We have ours is
Right.
Justice for Renee Freer,
Yep.
and we basically talk about it. We want people to join it, to talk about it, to keep this case alive. But, it's just been an interesting 2 weeks, and it's been kinda cool, to, kinda be a small part of it. But the stuff that y'all have done has been amazing to keep. I mean, 48 years is a long time.
Yeah, June 22nd will be 48 years.
Oh, man.
Almost 5 decades.
Goodness gracious. And so you've learned a lot of stuff from your mom. Has there been anybody else that's been helpful in your information search?
Everybody that I think you talked to, there's a few people that are in the group.
Uh-huh.
I don't really know if I'm to mention any names,
No,
so
you're fine, you're fine. I just yeah, just people in general that live in the area or,
Right.
your mom or whatever. Okay, that makes sense, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's, and I even had the pleasure of talking to the detective that works on the case. So it's been a lot in 2 weeks. He was very nice, and I'm very impressed with the way they do some of the things that they do. Um, for one, the, reward is offered by the state of Connecticut. I think that's amazing.
Yep. 50,000.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome,
Yep.
to have a reward offered by the state. I've kinda tried to delve into figure out Texas, but, Texas is almost like its own country, so it's kinda a little bit different to figure that out, but I was impressed with that. I was impressed with some of the things they
Yeah,
did.
they are very helpful, and it's very hard to read them when you're telling them something. They're like, "Yep." I'm like, "Wait." I don't know what kind of facial expression that was, but they do good. They're doing I was skeptical with the police
Oh, yeah?
in the beginning, but with the new set of police that are on it, I feel very optimistic.
Yeah. Well, that's good. That's a good
Yeah.
thing to have because I mean, this is a long time, and I don't know I mean, there's gonna have to be something really good come through, and I'm hopeful that it's possible, um, that they
For
get
the
what they need to solve it.
Right.
Golly.
I'm praying on the DNA.
Yeah. I mean, what year was it that they, exhumed her body? I think I know, but I wanna make
Was
sure
it
because you know more than I do.
1999?
I thought it was 2000,
No.
but you're probably right.
No. No, it was not. Something else happened in 99. I don't
The
remember.
reason I'm asking that question, somebody's probably gonna answer us here in a second, but the reason I'm asking that question is because I'm trying to understand why so many years have to go by to get the DNA. I mean, I understand it takes a long time to get DNA results back, but my gosh, 25 years is a long time.
I think back then we didn't have the technology that we have now,
Yeah,
and I th since her body wasn't sent to the correct place for an autopsy,
yeah, I heard about that.
it was 1999.
Okay, good.
Someone
Yeah, okay. I knew it was
um,
somewhere in that realm.
right, and, they didn't have the technology to test DNA back then, but now with everything more up to date and a lot more useful, I guess you
Yeah,
want that word,
yeah.
um, they're testing it again.
Yeah. Well, that's
So
good. I wish I understood that why it takes so long, but I guess, it is what it is. So, I mean,
I know.
they are doing the things and that's good. And I think it's awesome what all of you are doing to keep her case alive. Golly, I can't imagine. Well, tell me a little bit or tell us all about what it was like growing up on a street where murder happened because that's something that I can't say I've ever done that I know of anyway. Don't know about it. It's
Um,
happened.
I thought I had a normal childhood. Like I was able to be outside.
Yeah.
Um, just I always had to be with a parent or my sister when we were both a little bit older.
Yeah.
Um, it was just always that house. Um, it was never really taken care of, like the outside of it.
Mhm.
So it was always kind of like an eyesore.
That made it even worse.
It exactly.
It's the murder house and it's not being upkept.
Exactly.
Oh,
um, so there was really nobody there. Um, so we kind of were always like, stay away from that house.
was it always vacant?
People were there, they just were hermits and they did not do anything. And I think the guy was a truck driver.
Oh,
So
okay.
he was out all the time.
Yeah.
So it was always that house that kids just look at and they're like, then someone after died there. No, the lady that died, she lived there, but she didn't die in the house.
Oh. Yeah, I
It
remember hearing that story or reading it somewhere. I don't know where.
She died, I think, from an overdose.
Oh.
It wasn't that far away from here. But
she lived there, she just didn't die
Right.
in the house. Okay,
Right.
gotcha. Wow.
So that house just doesn't give off very good vibes.
Golly. Maybe one of those houses they just need to tear down and not
Yeah.
have a house maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I always say, now that I'm older, I
Mhm.
feel bad for, like, judging the house.
Yeah.
But it was not a very pretty house.
Yeah, I understand.
And we all stayed away from it.
Mhm.
Whenever we asked questions, it wasn't really answered.
Right.
It was just very short answered.
Yeah.
Kinda, like, pushed off type of thing.
Yeah. Wow.
And I kinda just dealt with that. Like, I was
Yeah.
like, "Okay."
Did you just have the one sister?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I can see where an older sister would wanna creep her younger sister out by a crazy story, like,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, to her, it was a crazy story. I know it's not to people that live there and her family, but I'm
Right.
saying to a kid, it's like, "Oh, I'm gonna tell her this crazy story and scare her," and
Right,
then you got
that's
the house across.
exactly
Yeah.
what she did, and then I went home, asked my mom, and she's like, "Yeah, little girl did die, but I don't know exactly how."
Wow.
I'm like, "Wait, and she didn't lie?" And then I got even more freaked
Yeah, you're
out.
like,
I'm like,
"How
"Oh,
did she know?"
lord."
Well, kids probably talked about it in school. You know how kids are. They can't wait to tell those scary stories, you
Yeah, the
know?
ghost stories on sleepover nights.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, in a few minutes, we're gonna be going on a break, but when we come back, we're gonna have everybody, so if you have questions for Elena, please put them in the comments. If you're watching live, just put an L. If you end up watching this later, on replay, just put an R for replay. So we know how many people are watching live and how many people are watching the replay. But, yeah, just a crazy story, of an 8-year-old girl that was brutally murdered back in 1977 and still unsolved today. And I don't know what the odds are of a case this old getting solved, but I'm hoping that whatever they need, they're going to get, you know?
To answer their questions, right now it is empty. It
Okay.
was it was up for sale and then it got sold. Available? No, it got bought. By who? I have no idea.
Yeah.
But
So, but nobody's living in it, but somebody bought it.
I feel like the people who are redoing it are the ones that are living in it.
Oh, that's right. Somebody's renovating it. That's right. I forgot you
Because
told me.
I've never seen anybody else there besides the workers.
Okay.
And I feel like if you're gonna renovate a house, the buyer would want to come up and check on the house and like the progress. Nobody has.
Yeah.
So I feel like the people who bought it are the people who are fixing it. I'm just assuming. I don't like actually know.
Yeah. No, that's okay. I was just, just
Yeah.
curious, but wow. Well, that's crazy. We have about 1 minute left. So when we get back, if y'all have any questions for her, we're going to continue talking about this case. We're going to ask questions of Elena, who has lived across the street for her entire life, and she's heard all the stories. And so we'll talk more about that and, what it's going to take to get this thing solved. I mean, it's unbelievable, but it's so good that all of y'all are formed a little friendship, and it's so cool that I'm here from Texas and able to just kind of, join in that with y'all. So we'll be back here in just a few minutes, and we will talk to Elena some more and answer some questions, and we will be back in a moment. Okay, everybody, we are back. Sorry about that. We're having a little short of a break, but now we're back to talk to Elena about this case. And so let me give everybody a little recap on this. 2 weeks ago, we did an episode on this before I met all of my friends from Connecticut. But it was about the Renee Freer case. On June 22nd of 1977, she was missing. And her mom went looking for her, couldn't find her, asked the neighborhood friends and parents and neighbors, has anyone seen her? They looked for her for a while. After a couple of hours, I believe it was around, she contacted the police department. Some volunteer firemen come out. Lots of people were out looking for this little girl, 8-year-old little girl, at in the woods behind these homes, everywhere, because that's where the kids played. And after a little while of looking, around 10ish, they found Renee's body, and she was dead. She had been murdered. She had been murdered with a rock, of all things. And it looked like she had 2 injuries to her head. And they also stated in some news articles that it looked like her body had been moved because they found blood in other locations. So this case from 1977 has been unsolved for 48 years in June. And it's unbelievable that this has been unsolved that long, but I guess I can understand with it being more than likely a minor that did this, how hard that would be, especially if you have people helping it. I can't imagine a kid would know how to pull off a murder and get away with it, but
I
nevertheless,
definitely don't think he acted alone with covering it up.
I think you're right on that. I feel the same way because, like I said, I just don't know a kid that would be smart enough to, get rid of evidence and all these other things. I think that they were having some people helping them with that. But nevertheless, so that's the case that we're talking about. And there is another episode that we did on it 2 weeks ago. And then I found a group on Facebook and found some family members of Renee Freers, and then met Elena in the groups as well. And we've all been talking about it. We wanted to just have some people on so that they could shed some light on this case, keep people talking about it, and have, because if you continue keeping these cases in the public eye, people continue talking, tips will continue coming in because people think of stuff. Believe it or not, after all these years, people might think of something that they never thought of or remember something they never remember, they didn't remember before. I know it's been a long time, but anyway, that's what we're talking about today. And Elena, she has lived across the street from where Renee lived when she was murdered, her whole life, and since 1990. And we had her on today to just kind of talk about the location and what it was like living there, growing up, how she heard about it, all that good stuff. So if anybody has any questions for her, let us know in the comments. And but otherwise, we'll just keep talking about it. So what do you hope happens with this case? You've been there through all of the different, some of the different things that have happened through the
Theories
years.
and different
Yeah.
people and a whole
Yeah.
bunch.
Yeah.
Clearly, someone needs to get caught. That's point blank, period. Like, whoever did this, the male juvenile, is a sick and twisted individual.
Right.
Like, there's
Absolutely.
literally no reason to do that to an 8-year-old.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
just, I don't even know her, and I get like, ugh.
Yeah, it's very frustrating,
It
especially
is.
what could a 8-year-old have possibly done, that would lead someone to kill them? Nothing.
'Cause
Nothing.
from what I have been told, Renee was the most bubbly, giggly, friendly, outgoing, likes to make friends with everybody. She would make other people feel welcome if they were sitting alone on a bus. Like, she would be
Oh,
that girl that helps someone else feel a part of a friendship.
that's so sweet. I
I
love
mean,
that.
her nickname is Giggles.
Yeah, that I was just fixing to ask you that. I thought that was so sweet when I read that, and
Yeah,
when I've seen people say "Justice for Giggles," I think that was really sweet.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Golly.
I've heard that from multiple people.
Yeah.
It's not just like, you know how some people have different perspective as other people? Every single person said that.
Wow.
Like, nobody said anything bad about her, so to think that someone like, there's no motive.
Yeah. And you know that happens a lot. I hear stories all the time about cases and you ask people, did this person have now of course a child didn't have an enemy. Well, I guess they could actually. But did this person have an enemy? And people would be like, no, everybody loved this person. Well, there's always someone that doesn't like them. And it's not that the person did anything wrong. It's just these people are sick and twisted, like you said, have issues, they're mentally unstable or whatever. And so you can kind of narrow the suspect pool almost just by that.
Oh, yeah. Process of elimination.
Yeah. Yeah, like which kid in the neighborhood was,
The neighborhood bully.
yeah, that was doing things like that and maybe, getting in trouble at school and
Yep.
just things like that. Golly.
There's always that one person, and there was definitely a neighborhood bully from what
Yeah.
I've been told.
Yeah.
And said neighborhood bully is still alive.
Okay.
So, still very possible that a conviction can happen.
Well, that's good news because I mean,
Yes.
I can't imagine. I mean, you almost get giddy thinking about it, that the
Yeah.
day that something happens, and like I said, I wished it wasn't so far away because I would probably be driving there to join in with y'all because I'm like that. I like to research and I like to see things visually and,
Right.
and then of course be a part of something like that. So I really respect everybody for coming together and doing the things to do to keep this case alive because it does take a village and y'all definitely have one.
Yeah. And I didn't realize how many people I knew from Monroe that knew about this. And like now talking to everybody, I'm like, wait, this person, I'm related to that person. And like, it's awesome seeing how people can come together even after this long.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty remarkable.
It does take a village, but I'm telling you, one individual is no match for a whole army.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So,
And it also takes courage of people who know something because there's people out there that know the story, or there's people that know what happened 100%. They either saw it or played a part in it or helped. And the thing about it is I don't know how people live with it. I couldn't. I couldn't live with myself helping somebody. I mean, I accidentally took something one time from the store, an accident. It was under my purse. And I walked out of the store and I like was, oh my God, freaking out like, oh my God, I like broke my neck, turning my buggy around, get back in that store and went up to the service desk and was like, I need to pay for this. And ladies thinking like, well, can you get in line like the rest of everybody? And I'm like, no, you don't understand. I already paid for all my stuff, but this got forgot. I got to pay for this right now. She goes, you come back in here to pay for this? Yes, I did.
yeah,
I
because you have
cannot.
a conscience.
Yeah. So I can't imagine being part of any of that, even if it was just knowing about it. If you heard the
Right.
story, that would drive me nuts. And these people are not gonna have peace until they tell what they know.
The sad thing is, I feel like their conscience isn't there.
Yeah.
I feel like something is not connected in their brain.
Yeah.
And to do that in general, what this person did to Renee, you're not connected in the brain somewhere.
Right. Yeah, that's
Like,
very
there's
true.
just no humanly possible way. And for people that do know about what happened, who aren't coming forward, they're the same way.
Yeah.
Why would you be protecting a murderer?
I wonder how often people actually get arrested for knowing about something and not coming forward. I'm just curious, because it is actually a crime.
It is.
So I just wonder how often police use that to their advantage, I mean,
Yeah.
because I could be if I was that person, and I would never be, but I'm just saying if I was, I would be mortified if they said, "Now, if you know about this and you don't tell us, we can take you to jail. I would be like, oh my God.
I
I'm going to
see it
tell you
all the
right now.
time on TV.
Yeah. Yeah. I just wish I knew about it in real life, that it actually happens,
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So somebody says in our comments, which kid had anger issues, lack of impulse control, anyone living on the street back then that anyone living on the street back then remember kids that fit that profile? Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure you all have heard stories, right?
I have.
Okay. I bet.
I don't really know if I should say names.
Oh, no, you don't have to. I just wondered if you had heard stories about someone that
Yes.
fits that profile.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Most definitely. And it's always the same person.
Yeah.
His nickname is literally the neighborhood bully.
Oh, goodness. That's not good.
So that person is the first person I could think about when someone said anger issues on that street. Granted, I didn't grow up at that time, but the same thing I heard about Renee, all the stories about nickname giggles and she was funny, friendly, everything. The same consistency with her story is the same consistency I hear about his story.
Yeah.
That he just didn't, nobody liked him.
Wow. Sounds like he had some issues in his home life and his parents never got it addressed.
Probably.
Yeah. I just want to say hi to a few people that have joined us here, and I'm trying to get this to work this as best I can, but hi George, thank you for joining us. Rhonda, Lisa, Cindy, Vanessa, Gail, thank you for joining us. Let's see who else we have here. Michelle, Vanessa, I think I might have said that already. Let's see. Beth, Cindy. Let's see if there's any questions here. If anybody has any questions. Tiffany, Gary, Matt, Rhonda. I think I got everybody, maybe. John. That's a lot of people. Thank y'all so much for being here and listening to the story of Renee Freer.
And share this video.
Share the video because we definitely want people to see this, and we'll try to put it into some Connecticut groups for people to watch. And then, of course, our plan is we're also going to have some more episodes with other people that knew Renee, other people that lived in the community, that still live in the community. So if you are hearing this, watching this episode, and you knew Renee, knew the community, knew the story, whatever the story is, and you are interested in being on an episode to talk about this, please let me know, because we're going to do several more of these with different people. So we can continue getting the story out there, because 48 years is too long.
Definitely.
Too long. What else can you tell me about this story and living there? And
people need to talk about it.
Yeah.
It was hushed up for way too long.
Yeah.
And the person's still alive.
Yeah. That's
And as far as I know, still lives in Connecticut.
Okay.
So people need to talk about it. Put pressure. Like, they've gone this long without confessing or being caught. At this point, they don't care about confessing.
No, they don't. I mean, 48 years, they're pretty much thinking they got away with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the sad part, that the more pressure, I feel like, because there's not only one person that knows about it, there's no way a juvenile could have done it and covered it up and not told anyone.
Yeah.
People know about it.
That's
why people need to keep talking, to get the people that are around said person, maybe to get them shaking in their boots, getting them nervous. Maybe they slipped to someone else and said something. Talk about it. Share the video. Don't let this story leave without a conviction.
Yeah, yeah, that it needs to be solved. I mean, and from what I understand, it and correct me if I'm wrong, this is Connecticut's only unsolved case?
As far as I know.
I think that's what the detective told me, if I'm
Was it? Okay.
remembering that right. I just wanna make sure because sometimes
I
you're like
mean, most likely, because stuff like this does not happen.
right. Yeah,
Like, since I've lived on this street, nothing has happened,
yeah,
and that is the only thing I've ever heard.
yeah,
Stuff in Monroe doesn't happen like that.
right.
It is a very small, family-friendly, like, my parents bought the house here because it was so friendly and warm. I can
Yeah.
only imagine how it was back then, before all this happened.
Yeah, exactly.
It it doesn't happen in Monroe. It just doesn't.
So Vincent says, which kid had anger issues, lack of impulse control, anyone living on the street back then that remembered kids in that profile? And then I thought I saw another one though. Let me see. Hang on. June says someone said he's a carpenter. Pretty scary that there's people allowing into their home. I wonder if his wife and kids know about this. Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
Well, for
Hey,
said person,
uh-huh.
um, I know who she's talking about with the carpenter. I don't believe that that is the person who did the actual crime.
Oh, okay.
Relation, yes.
Oh, okay.
Um, does the family know of the person who did the actual crime? That family does know.
Yeah.
That I know that they do know.
Right.
With the other people in the family, I don't know about their extended family, what they know. They could possibly, I don't know.
Yeah. No, that makes
Um,
sense.
yeah.
Yeah, and welcome, Diana. I see you're here, and it's fine that you just got here. We don't mind at all. I understand things come up and dinner, whatever. Vanessa says, I've waited 48 years for this to be solved, and it has haunted me and haunted our whole town. And I can imagine it has haunted. Oh, and by the way, talk about the billboard. Where's that at?
Oh, it's in Seymour. That is a fairly new put up.
Okay. And how far is Seymour from Monroe?
It depends on where, but I would say 20 minutes to a half an hour.
Okay. And do you know why they chose for it to be in Seymour?
A very public area,
Okay.
and I don't know if I'm allowed to say.
Oh, no, that's okay, that's okay. You don't have to say anything you can or
It
don't want
is
to.
it is put there for a reason.
Okay, good.
We picked that spot for a reason.
Okay, and what's really cool about it, and then correct me if I'm wrong, because obviously I'm seeing this from social media, but is it kind of low to the ground? So when you're driving, like, you're seeing it, like, straight in front of you, or is it high up?
I believe so. I haven't actually seen it in person.
Okay, it kinda looks like it's lower to the ground, which is kinda cool,
Yeah,
because when you
so
go
it's
around, it looks like there's
right
a
there.
curve, and you're just coming around the curve, and it's just there. I like that.
I'm pretty sure it's at a stoplight.
Okay, well, that's even more
Somewhere
yeah.
around a stoplight, so obviously if the light is red, then you have no choice but to look at it.
Right. Yeah, that's absolutely, the truth. I mean, it's, golly, to be able to see that every day is great. I mean, I don't know how
Right,
long it's gonna be up. I'm hoping that it's gonna be up for a long time.
right.
But yeah. Anything else y'all wanna talk about in this case? It is, yeah, they said it's pretty low to the ground.
Yeah.
Good, I'm glad it's rattled some cages. We need to rattle some cages. We need cages need to be rattled,
Oh, yeah.
for sure.
I mean, there is a method to why it's in that specific spot, so
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I really feel like that is the reason behind, and Crime Stoppers is also part of this. Um, that is the reason behind Crime Stoppers is because people were afraid to come forward. People were afraid to talk to the police, you know. There was even I remember the John Walsh, show, and there was a little girl named Amber Hagerman, and y'all may have even heard of her because it's a famous, case that happened in Arlington, Texas, which is not far from me. And she went missing. Long story short, when they were looking for her, they were trying to go to houses and people wouldn't answer the door. And they literally had to say, Listen, we're not here to take anybody that may be here illegally. All we want to know is, did you see anything? And then people finally started coming out and talking. So people have to know, people are afraid to talk. So
Right.
the Crime Stoppers is such a wonderful thing because, which I'm actually part of here in Texas, but it's such a wonderful thing because it gives people that ability to do it from their home.
Mhm.
They just pick up the phone, they're anonymous, there's no way they can find out who you are. People think that
Right.
they can and they can't. They can't call you back. They can communicate with you on the app, but they're not communicating with anything but a blank screen and a comment.
Right.
And you can get a reward, and the state of Connecticut is offering a $50,000 reward. I don't know if there's a separate one. Do you know for the Crime Stoppers? Is it separate or
I don't know
the
anything
same
about the
reward?
Crime Stoppers.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to share the number. The number for Crime Stoppers for this case is 860-722-TIPS tips. And it, like I said, if you have any information on this case, please come forward and give this information. Remain anonymous. They won't know it's you, but you will receive a reward for it if the person is convicted and arrested and convicted. There's a conviction. Because it's so important to solve this case. I mean, we have Elena here, lives on the street, been hearing this story her whole life. I mean, it's just incredible that it's
It's
been this long.
heartbreaking and it's sickening.
It is. I don't know how anybody could harm anyone, but much less an 8-year-old child. So
And keep it a secret.
yeah, and keep it a secret. That's to live with that. I mean, even though this person doesn't have a conscience, you still are watching over your back and you're still nervous and you're still thinking, oh crap, these people aren't gonna stop. Are they gonna figure this out? You know?
Oh, we will. We will.
Okay, so Marty says the billboard is low to the ground, approaching a stoplight at the corner of South Main Street and Route 313.
There you go.
So if anybody in that area wants to see it, hasn't seen it, it's in Seymour at Main Street and Route 313. So that is interesting. Well, I think it's awesome that all of y'all came together and that y'all are keeping this case alive. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
I think there's a lot that I want to talk about.
Right. Anything you can talk about.
I think that covers it for
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, we're gonna do more of this. We have other
Right.
people that are gonna come on and, and this is a radio show, so you don't have anything that you can't say on a radio show. It's a little different than a podcast.
Right.
But I always say people share what they're comfortable with because it's
Mhm.
you that has to do the talking and so forth. You can be on video or just audio. It's up to you. You can be on a phone call. We have a lot of different options here. But we want to keep this case alive. And that's kind of what me and Brittany did when we started doing this podcast. We just enjoyed digging into cases and caring about keeping them, alive and so forth. So it's, just important for people to, care about these cases and keep them going.
Mhm. Right.
Yeah. So, anyway, let me see if there's any other comments here. Oh, she was talking about somebody in the comments or whatever about the house, I guess. Yeah, so I do appreciate you coming on here and talking about Renee's case. That
Thank you
sweet,
for having
pretty
me.
little yeah, absolutely. That sweet, pretty little 8-year-old girl will be forever 8. But she has a ton of people behind her supporting. Oh, in the book. Yeah. Dead End Road. Tell me what his name is real quick.
E.C. Hansen.
Okay. Yeah, he wrote a book and he talks about he's from that area, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, he's from the area and he talks about the case to keep it alive. And then I think he got together with some other people that put their money together and they were able to get the billboard, which is amazing. I mean, that billboard's going to really help. I bet the tips have started coming in more because of that billboard.
And a lot more people have followed the page because of it.
Yeah.
So
absolutely. So yeah, find our Facebook page on it's called Justice for Renee Freer. There's actually another one, Who Killed Renee Freer. And in those groups we just talk about the case, we discuss different thoughts, different ideas, information. And if you know anything and you've never wanted to come forward, just just find it in your heart to do the right thing for this family. I mean, Renee Freer deserves justice. I mean,
Right.
everybody deserves that. I mean, she didn't deserve to be killed. She deserved to be alive today and have a family just like everybody else. But someone took that away from her. And you might be the difference. You might be the person that can make a difference in this case. And wouldn't you want to be that hero today? And you can remain anonymous and things can start pulling in motion and people can start getting arrested. I say people, it could be one person, it could be 2, it could be 12. I don't know. Just talking. But anyway, join us next time. We're going to do another one of these. Again, Elena, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you
Thank
taking the
you.
time to do that. I thank everybody for watching the show. We do it every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central. It's Crime Time with Brittani and Renee. We cover unsolved cases, and if we don't have one to do on Renee Freer right away, we'll be doing different cases, but we will continue having people on to talk about this case. So thank y'all again. Can't tell you how much I appreciate each and every one of you for being here. And again, if you watch this later, feel free to comment and say R for replay so we know how many people are watching the replay. Our page on Facebook is Crime Time with Brittani and Renee. Normally she's here. She just couldn't make this episode today. She had some things going on at work she had to take care of, but she'll be back next week. And then we have the groups if y'all want to join those. And then just help us keep this case alive, help us share all of these different flyers that we've made with her information on them and number, because I think all of that, every bit of that helps. I really believe that. So are there no neighborhood pictures from them? Oh, I don't know. I haven't never seen any. I don't know. People have always just talked about them being gone. So, but if we find any more information like that for next one, when we do another episode, we'll reveal that. Think of your questions for next time, and we will see y'all then. Y'all have a great night.
From Burleson to Venus and Grandview to Godley, this is the voice of Johnson County, Joco Community Radio.
Here's important new information from the Diabetes Solution Center for you, a family member, or a loved one suffering with diabetes. If you have lost your provider, or if you need a provider for diabetic supplies, you may qualify to receive your diabetic testing supplies now with little or no out-of-pocket cost, regardless of your age. All you need is Medicare or private insurance to be potentially eligible. Call the Diabetes Solution Center right now for details. Just takes a couple of minutes. Our friendly, knowledgeable agents will give you free, no obligation information. Handle all